In today's video, I'm sharing a paper trade I executed using an Iron Condor strategy on Nifty, along with the logic behind the strike selection. Please note that this is only for educational purposes. I'm not making any recommendation of any kind. At the time of entering the trade, the India VIX was around 19, I believe, 19 to 20, something like that. So indicating moderate volatility. That's generally a suitable environment in my view for an Iron Condor strategy to be deployed, where the expectation is that the market pretty much stays within a range. And the Nifty was around, I believe, 23,900, something like that. So now, I mean, instead of choosing strikes randomly, I use the delta based approach. Let me show the four legs. So what I've done is, so these are the four positions, four legs of the Iron Condor. So what happened was, I based it on the delta based approach. For this trade, I selected the short legs around 0.15 delta and the protective long legs around 0.05 delta. This helps in structuring a high probability range while controlling risk. So the buy positions, like you all know, who is familiar with Iron Condor, is like insurance policy. Let's go through the positions. On the put side, I sold 22,600 right here at around 111, and for protection I bought the 22,000 PE at 61 something like that, 6140. One adjustment here, ideally I look for 0.05 delta for the hedge, but the 2200 PE was slightly higher. It was at around 0.07 or 8, I believe 8 delta, and the further OTM option was too far and it was not practical. So if I were to just go with the exact 0.05, that PE would have been like too far. OTM that wouldn't have been practical. So I went ahead with 0.08 delta, and then I bought 22,000 PE. On the call side though, I sold 24,900 CE at around 73, and then bought 25,400 at 25.50, something like that. So overall, this created a range where I expect Nifty to stay between roughly 22,600 and 24,900. So this was my range between these two cells where I was expecting Nifty to stay. As long as the price remains within this range, time decay works in my favor. So that was the strategy I was going for. Now let's look at how the trade performed at the time of review. 22,600 PE generated a profit. You will see here it generated like 200 and some rupees, and then 24,900 CE contributed strongly. I know you can see it here. Its contribution was strong actually on the call side. The hedge legs had small losses, which is expected. Yeah, I mean that was the idea. I wasn't expecting to make money on all four legs. Definitely that was not the expectation. So the Nifty was trading around 23,900. No, it's I believe 22, yeah, 23,760 by the end of the day. So what's important here is not just the profit, but the structure. So I do see some profit here. Total PL is 621, something like that. But more than the profit is the structure that I'd like to go over. This trade worked in my view because the market stayed within the expected range. That's definitely a major contributor. Then there was no sharp directional move. Time decay definitely helped reduce option premiums. Now I'm doing this on Sensible. So you get to see the time decay and all the details when you do paper trading on Sensible. A few key points, takeaways from this trade I'd like to offer is: first, using delta for strike selection gives a more systematic approach rather than guessing levels. So it isn't simply a number of points one way or the other. It was more of a delta based approach. And secondly, having a defined risk and hedge positions is important, even though they may show small losses. You could see that if I had not bought hedge positions, probably I would have made more money, but that would have been riskier, and I wouldn't go that way at all anytime. In my view, I'd rather make small profit, but definitely I'd like to have defined risk and be there to trade for another day, maybe another decade or so, whatever, right? The third, waiting for the first 20 to 30 minutes after the market opens, it definitely helped in getting more stable premiums and better entries. So early on, I would make this mistake. As soon as the market opens, I would just jump into the trade. So luckily, nothing bad happened, but that's not the right approach. I would definitely wait for 30 minutes easily, and then let the market settle down, and then go from there. So I'll continue sharing similar structure trades, including both successful and also unsuccessful ones, so we can learn from the process. Thanks for watching.